They said it like they were practicing for a show, face on the hood, hands where I can see them, cold steel, warm asphalt, and a knee between my shoulder blades. The taller one, Kincaid, breathed coffee and cheap bravado. His partner, Dorsey, rifled my pockets like he was digging for treasure. I felt my lips split, tasted copper. Watched my wallet skid under the tire. "Stop resisting," Kincaid barked. "I'm not," I said, level as a carpenter's bubble. "I've trained rookies on traffic stops for 20 years. I know what resisting looks like." This wasn't it. It was a Sunday in Riverton. I'd taken my personal car out, dark green coupe old Motown on the radio, headed to my sister's place in Birch Hill for her famous lemon chicken. Nice lawns, wine chimes, people who wave only if they recognize your last name. I had on jeans and a heather gray sweater, nothing fancy. Still curtains twitched as I rolled by like my presence pulled a string. They lit me up a block from Willow Bend Park. No explanation. Just, "You fit a description." I asked which one. Dorsey smirked. "The kind that doesn't live here." He popped my door without asking. The pat-down got rough on purpose. "Got ID," he said. "You people always got some story." "Front pocket," I told him. I'm reaching slowly. "Don't move," Kincaid snapped, hand hovering near his weapon, voice loud enough for the neighbors. If you've ever had your dignity taken inch by inch, you know the cruel theater of it, the audience, the soundtrack, the improvisation of authority. They yanked my hands back. The cuffs bit. "Stop resisting." "I'm not." I looked across the street and met a stranger's eyes, young woman with a denim jacket and a phone up. I gave her the slightest nod. Later, I'd learned her name, Tasha Reed. They dumped my gym bag on the curb, towel, sneakers, a velvet case. Dorsey cracked it open and lifted out my service medal like it was a toy from a cereal box. He laughed, dropped it in a puddle. "That one stung. I earned that thing the day we pulled 3 kids from a hostage standoff, and nobody was sure we'd live to fill the report." "Name," Kincaid demanded. "Jordan Hale." "What do you do?" Jordan Dorsey asked. "I work in public safety." That a fancy way to say nothing. My phone buzzed on the pavement screen, spidered, still lit. A text preview crawled across the glass. "Chief Hale, urgent briefing in 20 minutes. "Ortiz." Dorsey stopped laughing first. Kincaid followed his eyes to the cracked screen expression, flipping like a bad coin trick. He swallowed. "Could be another Hale," he muttered, but it sounded like a prayer. "Check the wallet," I said, calm enough to scare them. "Front pocket," slowly, "and announce your movement for the record." They froze, remembered too late that the record exists. Their mics blinked red. I watched Dorsey's fingers shake as he opened the badge case, my department card with the words they didn't want to see, "Chief of Police, City of Riverton." The radio crackled like thunder in a theater. "Unit 23, Assistant Chief Ortiz. Confirm ID on your detainee now." Maya's voice is clipped silk when she's mad. Kincaid fumbled his push to talk. We're verifying." I leaned toward the radio. "It's Hale," I said. "I've been stopped without cause, searched without consent, property damaged, and I'm in cuffs." Silence. Then Ortiz, again lower. "Chief, are you hurt?" "Just my Sunday," I told her, and somewhere under the anger, I heard myself chuckle. A tired little laugh, because how many complaint letters had I read starting the same way sirens approached? Red and blue bounced off manicured windows. The neighbors did what neighbors do, filmed, whispered, called someone. I asked Kincaid for his number. He stammered 8742. Dorsey said 9105, too fast. I told them to leave the body cams alone. They unlocked me like the cuffs were radioactive. "Big misunderstanding," Kincaid said, not quite meeting my eyes. Dorsey added, "Protocol, high theft area." "Was protocol to toss my medal in a puddle?" I asked. "Or to search a vehicle you never had probable cause to enter?" Assistant Chief Maya Ortiz stepped out of the lead cruiser, the kind of compose that makes grown men check their posture. She took in the scene, my wrist, the puddle, Tasha still filming, and didn't bother masking her fury. "Chief, we're taking statements here. Scene is preserved. Officers, back off your mics and hands where I can see them." A news van braked at the corner. You could feel the story blooming. I photographed my wrists, my car, the scattered belongings. I asked Tasha for her name and thanked her on camera, because I know the game. If there's no record, it didn't happen. At headquarters, I sat with the legal team in body cam footage. You don't have to raise your voice when the video does it for you. The words "you people," the fitted description, The smirk, it all played back with the cold honesty of a security mirror. The city attorney shook his head. Policy violations clear as day and maybe criminal. I nodded. And not unique. I'd been collecting patterns quietly, stubbornly for months. Complaints from Birch Hill, Crestline, Maple Run, same script, different names, stops for nothing. Escalations for sport dignity, bartered for ego. Every time we tried to fix it, the sludge of tradition clogged the pipes. The next morning, I walked into a press room packed shoulder to shoulder. Mayor Pennington stood to my left, working on the face politicians make when they haven't decided yet. Commissioner Durant on my right jaw clenched. I told the city what happened. No sermon, just the facts and what they add up to when repeated across zip codes and years. 2 officers are suspended pending investigation, I said, but this isn't about 2 people. It's about incentives and instincts, what we reward and what we ignore. Effective today, we'll audit 3 years of complaints, publish them, and create a civilian board with real teeth. Reporters shouted. The mayor leaned in. Let's emphasize our officers do good work. I nodded. Good officers want bad policing punished. That's how trust grows. The union pushed back the way unions do when they've been fed one version of loyalty. Rallies formed outside HQ, blue flags and protest signs on the same breeze. That afternoon, Officer Kincaid asked to see me alone. He sat in my office like a kid who broke a window. Chief, it's bigger than yesterday, he said. Captain Briggs, he calls it proactive presence in the nicer parts of town. Guys who rack up stops, get the good shifts. He doesn't say race. He doesn't have to. He slid a thumb drive across the desk. Briefings, 6 months worth. When I pressed play, Briggs's voice filled the room. Keep anomalies out of Birch Hill. You know who belongs. It's funny how vague words get sharp when you hear the tone. The hearing for Captain Lowell Briggs looked like a movie-packed room TV. Lights, his commendations lined up like soldiers. His lawyer went with the classics, smear the evidence, question, the motive, call me political. I answered with math, stop rates, force complaints, outcomes, then I let the audio speak. Finally, I brought in Mrs. Odessa Bell, 76 pearls, straight spine, who'd filed 6 complaints and never got a phone call back. He told me people like me scare property values. She said soft enough for silence. My son's a cardiologist. They never asked. Briggs asked to speak. He said he'd kept neighborhoods safe. I asked safe for who he didn't have an answer either. They voted to terminate unanimous. Some clapped, some turned their faces away. Reform isn't confetti, it's paperwork and awkward conversations in training rooms that smell like dry erase markers. We rolled out de-escalation neighborhood immersion wellness checks, not as punishment, as standards. Officers grumbled, then a few volunteered. Kincaid spoke at roll call. Tough isn't the same as right. Dorsey resigned. The sky didn't fall. Crime didn't spike. Complaints dropped where the training took root. Folks started waving again, sometimes even at officers. 6 months later, I walked Birch Hill at dusk. A patrol car crept by. The young cop inside rolled down his window and asked Mrs. Bell if she needed help with her groceries. She smiled like a sunrise. My nephew, who just got his permit, told me he got pulled over for a broken taillight, and the officer explained wrote a warning called him Sir. We're not done, but we're moving. I still think about that puddle with my medal in it. Not because of the medal, because of what it represents when someone feels brave enough to disrespect it. That day told the truth about them, sure, but also about us. What we tolerate becomes who we are. Now, if you were me sitting in that cruiser with the cuffs off and the cameras rolling, do you fire everybody who fails the moment? Or do you retrain and watch like a hawk what's justice when the system taught the wrong lesson for years? Punishment, redemption. Both. Drop your take in the comments. Tell me what you've seen on a street like Birch Hill, at a traffic stop that changed your mind in a department that tried to change for real. If this story hit a nerve, hit subscribe, because the next one might be yours, and the only way we get better is if we keep telling the truth out loud on the record.